Hey everybody, Whitney with Girl Friday Crafts here. Welcome. Y'all know I'm hopping over on YouTube to make sure I'm live like I'm supposed to be. We're going to be doing this with one camera angle this evening, so I'm going to try to make sure that I get this positioned so you can see what I'm doing, but wasn't thinking earlier and I took apart, detached my other webcam from the mount and got it, well, it's actually right here, but it's all detached and everything because I have to, I'm taking it with me so that I can do some lives while I'm in Chicago. And I sat down to do this and was like, I don't have my second webcam. Okay, can't even get my brain to work to think about what I'm trying to see right now. Okay, so this says I'm live. It looks like I'm live. It says I'm live. Yep, I'm live. I don't have. All right. So this is Craftember November for Thursday. No. Oh. Wow. Monday. Not really sure I should be driving 3.5 hours tomorrow. November 18th. Yeah, okay. So let's just move right along on that. So this is another reel inspired project. I'll share the reel, but I'm gonna try this with 2 different surfaces. Turn my fan off. I have this little wooden, just a little birchwood circle from Michael's. But I also, when I was looking for that, I found this that I actually forgot I had. And it's already got the hanging hardware on it. And I thought that would be cute to make something a little bigger. It is relatively stable, so it would also kind of stand on its own, especially if you had it like on a shelf where it was in a corner, kind of positioned in corner, so like if it fell backwards, it would lean up against something. And I have 2, that light. I have 2, yeah, here we go. I have 2 Christmas sheet music type printables. I think these actually came from Etsy. I had some coupons to use at a particular store. And not from the Craft and Coop, although I think there are some like this from the Craft and Coop on there. I've got my Gator Sander, ModPodge, I've got some Distress ink. I do not need my calculator, I have no idea why that's sitting there. And my Diet Coke needs to get out of the way. I have my mini Cricut press. I do not have parchment. Oh, I do have parchment paper right here. Parchment paper, and then I have a whole tub right here, which you can't see yet, of just little decorations. And then I have some buffalo snow. This is actually diamond dust that we might end up using as well. Okay, so we're gonna get started. So I am going to pull this monitor over this way and angle it down some so that you guys have a good view of what I'm doing. We're going to start with the smaller surface. So one of my other collaborators in this project was talking about how she goes for 15 minutes and wherever she is in 15 minutes she stops. And then just pick it up the next time. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Because I haven't been doing that. I've been, kind of doing whole projects. Not that there's a right way or a wrong way to be doing this. But I might be trying a little bit of that. I don't know. We'll see where I am after I get this first one done. And maybe we'll come back to it. at a later date and do the second one. Because my goal was short, right? Quick, easy projects. I haven't done a great job of staying at around the 15-minute mark. I mean, I do feel like most of the projects we've done have been pretty easy. But I'm also pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Like if I was doing small chalk couture projects, like if we were making tags or cards or something, I'd get those done really quickly. So I guess technically speaking, I'm doing what I wanted, which was to force myself doing some different things. So in the inspo video, she took our printable and kind of pushed it down to create the little circle and just trimmed around it, which I think, obviously makes it a little bit easier when you're doing something like this, so you don't necessarily end up cutting off a lot of excess. So I figured I'd try that. Decoupage is not really something I've done very much of. I've mentioned that in some videos before, so I'm always kind of happy to experiment with it. I do like it. I think it's cool. I don't know why I've never really done a lot of it before. Right. So we're going to take the drawing tool. Now, admittedly, what I've been doing lately is just putting the printable on the surface with the decoupage still wet and letting it dry that way. So this is different for me. This is new for me. Honestly, no idea if I'm doing it right, because there wasn't any voiceover on the reel. So I could be messing this up completely, which, speaking of, I'm going to go back and watch one thing on the reel, and I'll kind of angle my, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it very well, but kind of angle my phone so maybe you can see it. I mean, y'all, I have so many reels saved. Here we go. So this was the thing I was talking about the other night, where I was just at Target, or at Michael's, and they had these little ornament shaped ornaments. So give me 1 second. I'm just checking on one thing to make sure that I don't get a step wrong here. Okay, nope, that's right. All right, just checking. Okay, so we're gonna put this down on my little wood surface and try to remember how I had it when I I think I had it like that. And I'm going to put the parchment paper down, and we're going to take a mini press and hope this works. I'm guessing what I'm doing here is that the heat is reactivating, the ModPodge so that the printable adheres. The couple of times that I've done this, to be honest, where I've just put this down on the surface while the ModPodge is still wet, honestly seems to have worked just fine. So I don't know if the difference is personal preference, or if this does really, at the end of the day, work better. So we're gonna get my Gator Sander, and I haven't quite figured out which color sandpaper works better when I'm trying to do ModPodge, or just sand stuff off. But so we're gonna take this. Ooh, that's warm. And we're gonna sand off the edges. I'm trying to keep this in camera so that you can see it. I mean, if you're familiar with this technique, you know what I'm doing, but I'm just taking the Gator Sander and sanding off the edges of the paper. This wood did get hot, much hotter than I expected it to, so probably some value in letting it cool off before you try to pick it up. I mean, it's not burning my fingers or anything, but it's pretty warm. Got a little bit coming up there, but so I've got a little bit coming up right here where I probably actually really didn't get a decent amount of Mod Podge, but what I'll try to do is put some embellishments in those spots. Okay, so we've got that, and that is turned off. Move it over here. But what I am gonna need, what I am gonna need that is not plugged in or getting ready for me is my glue gun. So I will say, I mean, this is obviously much faster because when you put the printable on the ModPodge when it's still wet, obviously you have to wait for it to dry, and then you have to put a layer of ModPodge on top of it to get it to adhere, or at least that's how I've been doing it, and you have to let that dry. So I do get it from at least one angle. This is definitely faster. What I'm actually going to do first is attach some twine to the back, because once we put embellishments on the front, we are not going to want to turn it over and lay it down. So we're going to put some hanging hardware in. I mean, obviously you could drill a hole in this and put the hanging hardware through it, but tie a little knot in the twine. Just to give the glue a little something to hold on to. Turn that on. And while that is heating up, we will think about what we want to put on here as an embellishment. How long? Okay. Okay, at some point I have to find something to do with these little gnomes, because they're just too cute. Let's see. We've got little lights, and got these little mini cone and berry picks, which would be really cute because it's got the holly on there. Got some fabric. We've got these little, still got more of these little mini wreaths that I put on the barn door from the other night. Oh, I have this little Santa suit. To find something to do with him. Got little stockings. Oh, those aren't stockings. Those are little, that's actually supposed to be part of Santa's. Well, is that supposed to be a stocking? Well, that might be supposed to be part of Santa's outfit. I don't remember what this was in its entirety. Little Santa hat. More little strands of lights. Oh, let's see. Move the whole box over here. Larger wreaths. Ribbons. I think I want to go with some of these mini cone and berry picks, and then maybe a couple of these smaller ones. Ooh, no. Do this over my trash can. It's kind of making a mess. I have to figure out how I want to do this because I don't necessarily want to cut the wire off entirely, and I'm not even sure that I could. I wonder if I cut it right there. Okay, just making sure y'all can kind of see what I'm doing here. So I fold this down a little bit. Yeah, if I fold that down a little bit, I don't know, that's backwards. Shoot. Okay, do this the other way. I'm kind of making a mess, but that's alright. So what I'm trying to do is fold this wire down to kind of flatten it so that the glue has something to adhere to. And then I could potentially put one on top of the other. So I wonder if I started out by gluing these together first. Okay, so first things first, we're going to put the twine on the back. Big old dab of glue. And that was absolutely not in the right spot. Put a little more on in the right spot, and then I can break that off. He's trying to get it somewhat centered so that it doesn't hang completely crooked. I don't necessarily mind just doing it this way as opposed to like drilling a hole through it if it's not going to be incredibly heavy. I mean, this is super light. Now, it does lean forward a little bit. I could take some glue and put it closer to the top of the circle and put the twine down in there a little bit more. And then that way when you hang it, it doesn't lean forward quite as much. I'm trying to go ahead and break that glob off of there. Not really great for my nails there. Alright. Ugh, poor nails. Okay. Alright, so there's that. I'm going to set that aside for a second because what I'm going to try to do is glue these together. So I folded this one part back. And then I'm going to lay this other piece on top of it. Okay. And then going to very careful. Oh. Wonder. Just trying to figure out how to get this glued down so that it actually stays. So we're going to put a bit of a mess of glue up here. And I'm going to take this and, you know, we've got the little stem part and some of the pine cones and berries that are in the glue kind of sticking down in there like that. All right. Okay, so that's actually adhered pretty well. I'm not loving that you can see that little stem piece right there. So what I'm wondering, this might be pushing it just a little bit because there's just not much for it to stick to. some glue and stick these together first. Yeah. Maybe not. Wow, those are not sticking at all. That's very interesting. Well, maybe a little bit now. Maybe just taking a little longer for the glue to cure. Okay, well, maybe that is going to work. All right, so we have those glued together, and then I'm going to, let's see, how did I get this envisioned in my head here? Yeah, still think that might be pushing it just a little bit, but we'll give it a shot. So we're going to put some glue here, and then I'm going to put some glue on that little guy right there, right here on the edge, and then we're just going to take this and hold it in place. Now, as the glue is drying on these little green balls, you can see the glue. Once it completely dries, that may dry clear. If not, you could easily just take some green glitter glue, or if you had any green, you could mix some glitter into green acrylic paint and just paint over that glue line, so it's not necessarily that noticeable. Yeah. Well, that actually seemed to work pretty well. I mean, that's seems pretty secure. Now, I mean, if it gets dropped or something like that, is it gonna break? Probably. But I mean, that's true of a great many Christmas ornaments. And so then I think what I'm gonna do, I gotta get the diamond dust ready. And I should put down paper towel down first, and I'm going to take a little bit of ModPodge and sprinkle some diamond dust. Ooh, hello. Just stuck my hands in the ModPodge instead of in my diamond dust. Just remembering that I forgot to text my cousin yesterday and tell her happy birthday. I have to do that tonight. And then we're just going to add a little more of the diamond dust down here. Just to give them a little snow effect. I'm not loving how it looks up here. I wish I could get more of the diamond dust to stick. You can see more of the ModPodge than I would have liked. But now he's got a little snow on him. Okay, so I think I kind of liked them better before without the snow. But that's okay. Live and learn. Okay, well, we're at about, wow, 30 minutes already. So just gonna stop there, although I will kind of do the same thing with that larger surface that I had pulled out. But we will do that on another evening. You all have a good night.